Good afternoon all. Thanks for coming for the webinar. Let us share the screen before we start. Let me share it off first. Yeah. So the discussion is going to be towards not around COVID, because that's what we are hearing almost 100 times a day. We'll be talking about beyond COVID and what's going to happen across. We will be also focusing on the domain of handicrafts mostly. So it will cover at the maximum range of products, whatever we have in our country. But we are also going to touch the consumer mindset at large, so that when we are talking about it, try to understand in your domain of the product, how it is going to implement. I'll request you all to note down the pointers, because when I talk, maybe I'll be slightly faster. Kindly note down the pointers, which you can discuss after the presentation gets over. So let's start. So let me move. So this is not a very scientific presentation, but I thought I will start with this because a virus which is as small as 60 to 140 nanomicron is creating havoc to mankind, who is holding the fort for almost thousands of years. So imagine this transparent, non-existing means non-visible virus is actually touching our all parts of life. So it's changing everything, almost everything, because this is what WHO has told yesterday's presentation. They says that don't take it easy because it's not going to go at a such short notice that we are going to go back to the normal life the moment lockdown is over. It's not going to happen as such. So if you move a little bit further, this happened the day before yesterday. The industries are slunking down. There are a lot of job losses happening across the industry, but above all these, what's happening across us is something called fear. The fear of unexpected, what is going to happen after the whole lockdown gets over. So let's talk about something positive rather than about the fear which is existing at this moment. Meanwhile, we are making coffee. So this particular coffee is becoming absolutely popular in across the net. It doesn't taste good, I mean, I have tried it. It's not taste good, and BBC says that this is actually cappuccino upside down. So we try to normalize everything, including coffee. But this coffee is very interesting because it is teaching that it's not about the coffee, but the patience of creating the froth. So we are looking forward for things which will take time, and then it will take time to create products like our handicrafts. So there might be a lot of positive elements towards handcrafted products back into the industry. For example, this is becoming very popular. It's called hyper-realistic art. So one of my friends was telling what is different between this and a photograph. It actually looks like a photograph. What is great about this hyper-realistic art? We are paying money because it has taken a lot of time to create this artwork. And people will start paying money for the time you spend to create the product. And that's exactly what's going to happen. These two keywords are actually becoming very popular. Some of them we must be knowing. It's called hygge. It's a slow living. Another new word has come. It's a Swedish word called fika or feka. It talks about taking out quality time for yourself. So quality time is becoming very important. A moment of quality time, right? Quality time spending with people around you, the people you love, and then accordingly the products being created across. Meanwhile, our social norms are changing. Very interestingly, imagine a species who cannot live without touching each other, because all our greetings were actually touching each other. Other than namaskaram, we still touch the feet. So we started learning not to touch each other just because of a minuscule virus, right? It has not happened newly. Our social norms changed earlier, where we had cholera, so we had changed the way we behave. We had AIDS and we have changed the way we behave. So viruses do change our social norms. Designers are creating spaces, maintaining the social norms. These architectural firms started designing shopping malls, shopping complexes where the social distances can be maintained. And then interestingly, products are selling more. Like for example, those products which is basically related to washing, related to self-cleansing. These are selling more in states. 40% sale increase for all the products related to washing. This is from a company called Scrub Daddy. So they started selling 40% extra scrubbers, and people are doing it. So there is changing pattern of spending. So spending will no more be the same how we used to spend across. In fact, individuals started making their own survival condos. These are bunkers where people can survive. So accordingly, the product started developing to survive for say 6 months inside a lockdown system as such. And a few days back, we came to know about a festival called Burning Man. Burning Man is one of the most well-known different festival where designers goes to get inspired. Manish Arora goes to Burning Man every year. So Burning Man converted themselves into virtual. So even if a festival at large as Burning Man, where more than 1 lakh art attends, they converted them into virtual. So virtual is becoming more real at certain time. So let's see how it moves forward. This is what McDonald's is doing. McDonald's is going to give a virtual experience at home. So if you go to McD's website, you can download the pattern of McD's Happy Meal box, and you can actually create a Happy Meal environment at home. So you can print it and you can create your own Happy Meal at home. So all the brands are trying to add a certain amount of virtual happiness at every space, including McD. So this will be the 6 key themes what we are going to talk about. We're going to talk about a theme of enabler, rejuvenism, empath, the neo sanctuary, Candy Saga, and hyperlocal. This 6 will be the larger theme of our presentation. And this will be the consumer themes, the consumer mindsets at large. And this is where we are moving forward as such. Enabler is a theme, which we'll go to next. Enabler is a theme where consumers are looking forward for the product, which will enable them to do things. It's not about giving them a full product. It's about giving a capacity to enable them to create products. It's a very interesting theme because we all know what's happening across. If you just open any social media, you will find everybody is trying to do something fruitful. Maybe they're trying to do their own craft, they're learning their craft, they're trying to hone their own craft, they're creating products themselves. So enabler is a theme where we will allow them to enable. This is what Samsung is doing. Samsung has launched a box for a packaging for the TV, where the packaging actually converts into a cat house. So you just get the TV, you get a box, which you otherwise throw off, but this box is patterned in such a way that it can be converted into a cat's home, you know. So this is a very interesting way of thinking about your packaging when you are going to put up the packaging, rather than only packaging the products. Everybody is looking for things to get enabled at certain time. So the sub-theme comes here is called GeoGrow. This sub-theme is actually talking about getting on ground. Those who used to sit in virtual reality and then talk about things in social media, they are the one who will be coming down to ground and start working with things. 2 colors will be very necessarily important for us. One is called hot spice, the color in between brown and purple, and the color called Hyde Park. It's a green, which is towards blues. These 2 colors will be very relevant for this particular theme. So how GeoGrow is working for us at this time of lockdown. Just see that this I have captured from social media. Most of the actors and actresses are now into gardening. This is happening across the world. I try to show some familiar faces. I'm not very Bollywood person, but try to show that. So if you see that everybody is into gardening, your products can move towards gardening. You can make pots for gardening. Home gardening can be something which is you will look for, because that's where your business is going to go. A big demand for pots will increase. Decor pots, interesting pots to give water, and all of these will be very important part of our home living. However, you can also explore the way the pots will be. It can be a mix of products, it can be a mix of materials. It need not be just a pot. It can be a decor on the wall, as it's being shown here. Also, this interesting material has come. It's innovated by a company called Leafing. This material is basically a paper where you can plant the plant. You know, I mean, you can put the seeds and it grows as a plant. So imagine you have a product of handicrafts and you are adding this paper and you tell individuals to grow plants anywhere on anything, right? And that's where the power of gardening is going in. New materials are coming in like seaweed. This is almost like a paper mache, but this material can be molded and it's natural. It's not a plant killer material like paper. It's a natural material from sea, and it can be used to create different types of products. So this a new introduction of the materials. You should be looking forward for new materials as such. You must be knowing that the papers are going to be reduced as use because many of the companies might not look for papers. Many of our buyers will not look for papers. So try to find out indigenous replacements of papers. This is a new domain of design. It's called biodesign, where natural materials are involved to create daily household products like a stool. The stool might not look interesting, it might not look appealing, but the story behind this is very important. It's been created with mushrooms. The material mushroom grows on the tool, and that's how it grows. So if you see that the slow life is taking over here. This is also a very interesting pattern. So if you all are in ceramics, some of you can think about it. There's a very interesting experiment which is happening where the ceramic prints are being developed with the raindrops. So you just put the color and put it outside, and the sunshade or the sunlights and the raindrops creates pattern. The pattern becomes individually unique for every product. So the industrialization of the product will vanish. We'll look forward for the product which is unique, may not be great at looking, but every product has its own story. So we come down to another sub-theme called Parpassion. This is a beautiful theme which talks about encouraging everybody to be passionate about their hobbies and their practices in life. Important colors will be orange. It's called Orange Tango. And another color which I like is called Sherlock's Cap. Very interesting gray. So the gray and orange combination will be something which we look for. So if you go through this story, you will already find, I don't know how many of you like Sunny Leone, but Sunny Leone was painting. So imagine Sunny Leone starts painting, and that side you see a Saif Ali Khan painting on the wall. So imagine how much they are passionate about the hobbies, what they have left in the childhood, right? So encourage individuals to take up their hobbies through your crafted products. How? For example, you can make jewelries where it is DIY and they can actually color their own jewelry, like this one, which is happening. So allow them to paint on the product what you are actually giving. Like this product where it's a wooden craft, and then you can give all the materials to create on their own customization, and they can claim it's their own product. So this kind of products will increase under Parpassion. Also, this is a very interesting domain which I have not seen anybody venturing from the handicraft side, health and gym. Very interestingly, earlier days, individuals were going to the gym. Now, the gym will be a most scary place in life. You know, you cannot put your mask in gym. You have to take your t-shirts off, whatever it is. You cannot put your PPE and go to a gym. So gym has moved into the house. There are gym apps. There are cult fits like gym organizations who's giving videos to do gym. Interestingly, you can start creating products for home gym. How? These are the Instagram captures. Shushmita Sen started doing her yoga, very interesting pose. If you move on a bit, there are products which actually helps individuals to do gymming at home. Why don't we do that? Like that fabric, what she is trying to pull. So the yoga mats, the furnitures which can also convert into a gym instrument at home. So at home gymming is something which you can look at. Brands are doing it, like this brand called Fisk. It's a very interesting brand from Bangkok. I mean, Bangkok is known for other things, but Bangkok is also known for their interesting products. Bangkok has this brand. It's called Fisk, and they mix handcrafted wooden and steel mixed gym products. Just see this, right? And why can't we do it in our handicraft sector? Because gymming is something which everybody will look for. And they will not look for expensive gymming equipment. They will look for something which can be converted also into a decor piece that you can put into decor at certain time, but it's also a gym kit. Think about this. Also, these two students are doing very interesting activity. If you are in ceramics, this is good for you. They are collecting dirt from the streets. And these dirts, what they are collecting, are being used to create dyes, to print. They are printing textiles. They are also printing ceramics out of the dirt collected from the street. It sounds very funny, but imagine it's a task given to someone and it's how it's going to improve. So think about a different way of engagement of consumers. Everybody looks for a story. And the story is important. We buy stories. Nowadays, we hardly buy products, we buy stories. We come to another theme called rejuvenism. Why we call as rejuvenism rather than rejuvenation is basically it's an ideology. It's a thought process. And this thought process started because we started talking about the stress and anxiety and insomnia, what everybody is going to feel or feeling now due to lockdown. And it's happening across. It's not happening just because of COVID-19. It's happening for past almost one season. Very interestingly, it's also affecting us about how we sleep. So if you see that the below graph, it shows that Japan sleeps the least, and then we are at the fourth position of insomnia. We don't sleep much. They say 1 out of 6 in India is not sleeping well. So this theme is actually talking about to rejuvenate and ensure that everybody is actually relaxing when they are at home or at work. These are interesting data. It says that 93% of Indians don't sleep well, right? And not only in India, it's happening in America, it's happening in Japan, it's happening across the world. Slow sleeping will be the most desired product for next 2 years. Everybody will look for how good you slept in the next day. You know, I mean, they will not ask how long you have been awake at night. The move will move about how good you slept, right? And that's where our product is also going to move. Sleeping wears and sleeping products are increasing across the domain. And very interestingly, we come to a theme called attractivism. It's not about attract, it's about non-tracking. The products which will not allow you to have signals, the products will not allow you to get connections. It's not having connection. It's almost like lockdown. The colors, what we are looking forward for a very interesting gray called Gravity Rock. We're also looking for interesting colors like a blue and a gray mix called Opera Night. So in this particular theme, we are talking about absolute locking down inside home. Now, don't think this locking down is happening just because of COVID-19. It was happening for past 2 seasons. And in Japan, it is called as hikikomori. They say it's basically a disease. It's a kind of a differently able person's ability to think. But hikikomori is something which is common in Japan. And then we just have 2 months of hikikomori in life. It says that you just lock down yourself, don't go out, and just go untracked, right? The colors will move towards more pale shade. It is also going to go for the elements which will not allow you to get connected. For example, this product is called Aeroplane Mode. This is very interesting product by a brand called Brunch. This is nothing. It's a concrete, two blocks of concrete. You just need to put your phone and then put it in the bunker. It's called bunkers. So the moment you put it, you won't get network. The moment you get network, no calls. And no calls means you are at peace, right? And this is called a very interesting product. It's very simple, very basic, but this is what is needed at this moment. And then if you know, one more interesting element coming in our life is our washroom, our bathroom. Most of the products which is going to move towards bathroom, I'm sounding kinky, but don't take it at that way, because bathroom is going to be a place where you can hide well. There's no CCTV camera in bathroom. If you lock the door, nobody goes inside the bathroom. And that's where exactly we go for non-trackism. We can do anything inside bathroom. And that's where our products are moving. This is a new article which I was reading. These 2 couples, the fashion design couple, they were asked what you will do if you get a little bit more money. They said, we'll make a good bathroom, right? More lavish bathroom. Now, how it's going to impact you? It's going to impact you because you will create products which will go in bathroom, right? Right from the wash machine, the most decorated wash machine can be made in metal. You can create a nice decorated urli in the bathroom. You can put these products. You can also create interesting stools to sit in bathroom. You can create the flower decoration pots in bathroom. You can create that rack in the bathroom. And this is where you can go. And if you are in ceramics, please make a bathtub, right? Handcrafted bathtub is something which is going to be the next luxury, right? And that's where we are going to move. Imagine the picture of Marilyn Monroe on the bathtub. I mean, Shah Rukh Khan was also in a bathtub once. Yeah. Another product which is going to go in the attractivism category is absolutely correct. It's your mask, right? This mask is going to stay. Whether Corona comes, Corona goes, mask remains. Because we are so used to it, this product of hiding our identity at certain part. It's moving in, it's coming in art, and it's coming as product everywhere. If you are in embroidery, create embroidered masks. If you are in wood, please make wooden mask, because that's where it's becoming part of our lifestyle. It's going to become an accessory for lifestyle, and that's where it's moving in. It sounds funny, but this is what is happening. If you go to Korea, you will see everybody wears mask. If you go to any South Asian countries, you will see many of them are wearing masks. It becomes a norm today to wear a mask. This is going to stay as long. Recycle masks, upcycle masks, everything is going to come at large. We come to a theme called deep sleep. This is a theme which it's very close to my heart, because this is going to be a big theme for next 2 years ahead. A theme which will allow us to sleep well. We are going to look for comfort colors. These colors are called as comfort colors. A color called the Orchid Garden or the Little Lullaby. These colors will be there in market, which will allow us to sleep well. And in this segment, black is going to come. Black is going to come as a large color, as a domain color. The products towards allowing to people to sleep, like the rugs, what you are seeing here at the rugs, will be having a heating agent inside. If you are making rugs, think about how to heat it up at certain time, because this is what people will look for. Puffed or quilts are going to come everywhere. And you will see quilts, because quilts gives us an ideology of being safe. You know, you are protected. So quilt will come in most of the products. If you are in accessories, think about quilting. Also, there is a new product category. It's called the sleeping aid. A new category of product will come as sleeping aid, where we are going to look forward for the products which will allow to sleep well, like this particular product called Sleep Rock. It's basically a product to hold. It says, the science says that if you have something in hand, you sleep well. I don't know, because I don't do that, but they say this is the product. And if you just hold on something, it can be a pillow, it can be anything else. Sleeping aid is going to become a very important part in our domain of handicraft. It can be ceramics, it can be a product. So what product you are seeing is called Sleep Rock. It can be heated. So if you want it to be heated, you can heat it, right? Just imagine a cold country like Germany or Scandinavia, and you want to just sleep well, you might need a heated Sleep Rock, right? Think about products. Nokia has launched a sleep measuring technology, where you can just put the mat under the pillow, and the mobile phone app will actually measure how much you slept or how good you slept. This sub-story called Slowly, this is going to be a big story. This is happening now because this talks about living a slower life, a life which goes slow at certain time. Colors which will come is the blues and a little bit of purple. Interesting color, because these colors were actually the color of unicorn last year, which got pastel down now. So this pastel unicorn color will allow us to slow down our life. Why we need to slow down? Why we don't need fast fashion? Because there are multiple elements as such. The products which will come as this, there will be cushioned half sleeping chairs, where we'll be talking about being laid in. You must be knowing that in the cities like Bangalore and Hyderabad, I have kept on reading that so many people just leaves their jobs in IT and goes for farming. You know, they are just hating the fast life what they are living. They need to go and just cool down. There will be products to slow down the life. There will be a big demand for aromatherapy, products which are aromatic, which allows people to relax and settle down. This small rock, what you are calling, is called lava rock. It can actually absorb aroma and it can stay back. So if you are into jewelry, think about this kind of jewelries. If you are into products, think about aromatherapy, because that's going to be large. And the moment lockdown gets over, aromatherapy is going to start. Everybody will be stressed. They need to see something to cool down. Interesting packaging options coming in. So if you are actually doing wood crafts or ceramics, don't just think about products. You can tie up with companies to create packagings for them. For example, these products are actually packaged with wood and ceramic. So companies will look for example, most of the cosmetic companies will move from the plastic and move for wood and ceramic. That can be your second business line, where you are moving forward to develop packaging material rather than creating a whole handicraft, right? And that's where a domain starts. Maimo started giving ceramics and wooden products as such, if you can see that. And this is where the domain is moving. Think about increasing the businesses to the other domain. This is very interesting. It's a sound system, what you are seeing. It's a sound system made in rock. The movable products will slowly go out and stable products will come out. So large products which you can keep at home and utility products with it. So these are the sound systems made in rock, solid rock. Why? Because rock is one which reflects the sound much better than metal. And this is where another domain starts. Electronics mixes with handicrafts and creates very interesting homegrown products. And this is where the domain moves. Pet products are going to increase because this is where everybody look forward. They will actually look forward for the pets because they are the stress relievers. Pet products for the cats, pet products for the dogs, tents for the dogs and cats. Think about the product segments which can be. And this is where your domain is going to increase. And this is where the products will come. This is a very interesting whisker basket for the cats. Imagine this is not a basket, this is a whisker basket. And you can convert this into a basket, into a clothing, discarded clothing space, or you can just turn it up and put a glass on top, it becomes a table. So multi-utility product as such comes in. Terrazzo is going to stay. Terrazzo is going to stay for long because it's a slow process. And we like Terrazzo because it reminds us of the days lost. It's an old days product, and Terrazzo is going to stay back for us. Products in Terrazzo is going to increase, in fact, at large. And then we come to a domain called empath. It's a domain which will talk about products which are related to empathy. It's a new domain of products where you can see the way your handicrafts can move. Note down the pointers, what you are thinking. If you want to ask anything, you can please ask after the discussion. Empath is a category where we are talking about products which will generate empathy. For example, we have already started seeing people giving gratitude to the doctors and the medicinal professionals. Gratitude is pouring everywhere. Try to create gratitudinal products. And that's where the domain is moving. This is a wall Loe has made where everybody can go and say thank you. Not only that, Starbucks has moved there. This is Starbucks cafe mugs. They started putting the cafe mugs with a small write-up of gratitude. And this is where the products are moving. I'll show you something interesting as a sub-theme called homeopathy. Homeopathy talks about gratitudes towards human at large. And this is where the color comes in. And the products comes in as empathy dolls. This is a new product category. We call them as an empathy doll or empathy toys. I'll just move in. Like this particular toy kit. This toy kit is called empathy toys. If you are in wood, if you are in metal, think about toys which will be allowing you to think about empathy. This toy is basically nothing. It's a wooden block. You have already created wooden blocks. I know the traditional toys we have in our country. But imagine toys, and they just added this particular blindfolds and then two plays, and they help each other to create a product, to generate empathy among humans. So empathetic products are going to increase at large. Transparency is going to increase. Transparency as a qualitative term, transparency as a product is going to increase. Multiple transparent materials are going to come at large in our domain. One of them is a very interesting product. I don't know how many of you are looking forward for it. It's called bioplastics. It's basically a plastic which is generated with the biological materials. It's a cultured plastic. It's not a plastic. It looks like a plastic. It's a semi-transparent material. So this kind of innovations you can look at. I know many institutions are doing this kind of innovations. Look at these new materials, which are transparent, but not plastic or glass. Paper, our humble recycled paper is going to be a big domain for us because multiple products are going to start made in recycled paper or upcycled paper, right from the carton of the window to the lights, to the chairs and sitters. And this is where another domain is going to start. So if you are in paper, think about different types of products other than lights in paper. And that's where your domain is going to move because everybody look for upcycled paper, not a new paper. So that materials, you can make even accessories like bags in paper. And that's where everybody is looking forward. Interesting dye is coming in market. It's called bio dye. Natsai, she is a biologist. So she came out with a dye where we don't use a dye or a chemical. We just use bacteria. So the fabric, what you are seeing is cultured in bacteria. Bacteria create stains. And the fabric is dyed in that stain. It's not a biological dye or a chemical dye. It's just a stain of bacteria. And very interesting material comes in. So if you see that, it actually looks like our tie and dye. But this is bacteria dyed material. And this is absolutely harmless. And this is a new material where the whole world is talking about. If you want to know more about it, note down her name, Natsai. and then find out her talk in TEDx. There will be talk on this material in TEDx. There are multiple new materials coming in. This is another theme which is large. We are talking about home, and this is where a new terminology comes called cocooning. Cocooning is a terminology which talks about we are getting shelled inside our small domain, and that's where the product moves. And home is becoming a new sanctuary. So home related products will become a large need at this moment, because individuals will do homeschooling. Schooling is going to happen from home. A home office is happening. I see Rajesh sir is already having an office at home. We all have our home office at part. So this is where the industry is going to move. And we are going to have products for home. For example, the dyed space, the space which dries garments and then converts into a wall hanger, can be a space. Homemade sanitizers are going to come at large. Home office kits are going to come at large. If you see in left side, that's a very interesting office kit at the table. So you have all the materials on that box. Imagine that box made in your wood, made in your metal, or made it in your paper mache. So you can create products for home office. And then think about the right side picture. All the materials can be made in handicraft. In fact, these are all made in handicrafts, including the whisker boxes, right? And this is where our demand moves. Our demand moves towards home-based office space. Think about innovations. Very interesting innovations are happening. Like Olive & June, Sarah has a brand called Olive & June, and she has moved her whole business at home. She starts making Instagram videos at home, and then just imagine that small space is her office, and that's all, right? And that's how it's moving. New products coming in, like this desk, which was launched long back, but nobody talked about it. But now everybody's talking about this desk. It's called analogous memory desk. It's a small desk where the paper rolls are fixed on both sides, and you can write anywhere in the desk, and you can keep rotating the paper. You don't need a copy. You don't need a book. You can just need a roll of paper. And that's all. If you don't need that book table, you can cover it and put. It was a student's project done, but this is a very interesting project which we thought we will talk about it. Think about innovations in this way, where it can be a multi-purpose, useless space. Think about simple products like this, which is as simple as that, where in this side you can just lay down or put a tab and watch movie. Imagine multi-use products as such for home. Also, because we are staying home, this is going to become a big nuisance, because we are going to have a lot of garbage at home. Sometime we need to store this garbage till it gets cleared, right? So garbage bags, segregated garbage bags can be something which you can look forward. And in your right side, what you are seeing is basically a product from a brand called Kamba. They have created this terracotta dabbas where you can put your garbage. It doesn't smell. It converts into composting and can be used for your home garden. Think about products where you can utilize garbage and convert it into a utilized material. I mean, use your designers as such for this kind of products. Another theme is got curious, because we will be staying at home. We'll look forward for the products which keeps our curiosity alive. For example, I was just seeing this very interesting way, because you have a small space at backyard. The child knows better. She is the best designer. She goes and just creates a small tent there, right? Why can't we have it at home? Interesting curiosity generating products for home will be very interestingly developed. The toys for home, and not only toys for children, toys for everyone. Toys for the adults and children together, toys for the families to pay. We do have traditional toys, reinvent them back. Reinvent traditional toys and create products out of it. And this brand called Toy is very interesting, because I like this product. These brands don't give a toy. They give small elements where anything can convert into a toy. For example, you can see a small biscuit pack converts into a toy, a small mug becomes a toy. So they give elements which you can attach. Think about your handicraft, which doesn't give a toy, but small elements to fix on anything. And that think about wings, and the wings can be fixed into anything and it becomes a toy, right? This kind of innovations are something which everybody is looking for, because there's no space to keep a big splash toy. We don't have it. We'll have small elements, and then that creates the curiosity to convert a new toy every time. Walter Bosch has this very interesting small products. It's all casted, and they are doing traditionally for long. And these are actually bottle openers. Very interesting bottle openers, which opens the bottles, but interestingly done. Think about this kind of interesting products in metal at large. These are all, actually, these are not plastic packets. These are all glasses. If you are into business of making glassware, think about glasswares which looks interesting. This looks plastic packet, but it has a very interesting message saying that don't use plastic packet. But these are actually flower vases. So imagine these products as flower vase. So everybody comes at home, they'll be curious to know what it is. So curiosity is something which we are looking forward at this moment. Bright color products are going to come. We will look forward for brighter products as such, like Anthropology launching this product range. Or this product, Kiwi and POM has launched this very interesting product where they're using illuminated threads or illuminated wire to build up a chair. And then the chairs glows when it puts on light. And you can use illuminating light threads to create products, especially furnitures if you want to. And this is where the industry can move to create curiosity. And it can change. You can create it as a DIY. A new emerging material which is going to come is that material which can actually shine on shimmer. For example, this. This color was used actually for the automobile, where we paint the automobile and from every direction of the light, it creates a different color. This is going to come in furniture because every time we need to create a new curious element at home. We cannot keep on changing furniture because you will be actually hitting a semi-recession period. So if you are actually looking for reworking on furniture, a color can work. So you can have multicolored furniture where the color changes depending on the lights as part of it, as this. It is not only furniture, it's going to come on lights, it's going to come on the jewelry if you are into jewelry. Multicolor changing products are going to come at large. And then we come to a theme called Flossom. Flossom is a theme where we are looking forward for products which will be having slight flaws. We are bored with absolute perfect products. We are looking forward products which will be having uniqueness like us. Flossom is a theme which we talked about long, and now the products are coming in. Very interesting, Todo Ramen started doing this, where they are taking actual rocks and putting a glass in between and creating these very interesting products for home. It can be a paperweight, it can be anything. Very interesting products. But it can move into products where the domain can become this, and you can see this. These are epoxy table with wood, where the woods are being kept as it is, and the glass and epoxy is being used to create a structure in between. It's not chopping off the wood, it's not chopping off the glass, it's creating the texture, keeping the original material alive as such, as this, right? Everyone look forward for the uniqueness of the material rather than the better finish of the product. It's going to come in jewelry across. So if you're thinking about combating materials as such, this is what it is going to happen for the jewelry. And it's going to come for the stool. What you are seeing in your left side is basically a stool. That's a sitter. It's a furniture, right? And this is what it is happening. And this is a very interesting furniture by Bocado Lobo. And the furniture actually looks like a crack. But when you take it out, it's a dryer, right? So these are interesting ways of creating flaws. And people will like to have this kind of products as such. This is what, again, Bocado Lobo's sitter, where it looks like unfinished product, but is actually a finished product. A new domain is going to open. It's called the glitch. I don't know how many of you have listened to the glitch. Glitch is basically a very interesting way of creating defect. If you are 70s and 80s kid, you must be knowing that how the printer goes wrong. And then when the printer starts printing wrong images, we used to get these long lines. These are called glitch. So there's a defect. We call them defect. Earlier days we used to call defect. Now we call glitch. Glitch inspired products are going to come at large. There's a Nike logo done with glitch. And it's coming in every domain. And this is glitch. It's a glitch inspired fabric. What you see in fabrics, glitch will be coming as such. It's going to come in furniture at large. And you can see how it comes. These are all home decor. And these are all home decor where we are actually trying to look at slight glitch in the product. These are looking cool because millennials are looking for products which are cool, right? As such. And imagine this furniture. This is not a printing defect. This is a furniture. This is actually a handmade furniture. It's made by Lisa Worklet. It's a very interesting furniture as such. Interestingly done. It looks like slightly twisted, but it's all intricately handmade. And it's not a Photoshop. This particular chair called Black Lines by Philip, very interesting. It actually doesn't look like a chair. It looks like lines, but it's a confusion which very interestingly works as such, as this. So think about simple basic products which you will have a little bit of interest of curiosity. It can be a glitch or no glitch, but this is how it's going to happen. This is my last large theme called Candy Saga. This is for them who likes candies, especially the millennial focused theme. At large it's happening, and we are doing it at this moment. I don't know how many times you have washed your hand, but hand washing has become an indulgence. You know, if you have a sanitizer at home, we feel great because we have a stock of sanitizer at home. You know, hand washing is going to become indulgence. And this particular image, what I have just downloaded, it talks about love in the time of coronavirus. It shows about a couple washing their hands, you know. So now the love making or sensuality goes on hand washing. So washing becomes our habit. It becomes a very important part of our life. How? There will be a lot of luxurious sanitizers coming in, a set of ceramics and metal which you will come to put the sanitizer so that it looks nice in your living room. Because you know that's a norm nowadays. The norm will be remaining that you don't come and handshake with someone. You first give the sanitizer and they cleanse their hand and then only they touches anything at home. So this is going to be a homebound necessary product, a sanitizing kit, a luxury sanitizing kit. Think about ceramics and metal. Think about interesting way of making your glassware to put sanitizers. This is a picture from a competition, a contest where designers were told to create sanitizer packs, which looks interesting, and these are they have come out. Think about this kind of products which comes out at large. Think about crochet, think about knitting, what you are actually looking at. Think about the way we knit products, or think about furnitures, what remains at large at certain time, right? For example, a furniture like this, this is a concrete melt furniture. So the effect is almost like melting down liquid, right? So liquid inspired products will be something which we are looking for under that theme. Subtle sensuality, people will look forward because everybody is homebound and they are going to be 83% homebound in their days to come even after lockdown. That's what the data says. So subtle erotism, subtle sensuality, we are looking forward to cut out of our boredom. It can come as office furniture, it can come as a public face furniture. Subtleness of it is more important rather than sensuality. So we come down to a theme called innosensuality, where we are actually talking about being innocently sensual. How many of you have seen those Instagram videos where they were actually putting up videos of being doing yoga in skimpy clothes? I appreciate yoga, but imagine why you need to have that kind of clothes. We need sensuality at everything to create attraction at certain times. So your product needs it at certain moments. For example, candles, aromatic candles will be at large in demand. This brand, very interesting, it's called Aromatherapy Company. They're not giving a full candle, they're giving a half sliced candle so that you can mix the flavor and create your own candles. How clever it is, very interesting way of presenting. Think about the products, what you are designing. If you are into dry flower and candle, think about products as such, where you can allow them to customize the candles. Diffusers will be in demand. Everywhere there will be diffusers. Diffusers to make the room sensual, diffusers to clean the room and cleanse the air. Diffusers will be in demand at large. We'll be also having a luxury, but the luxury will be measured. Don't think about creating large products at this moment. Yes, if you have a client, do that, but every client will look forward to save their money even when they are doing luxury. So this brand called Usual Wines, they are selling wines, 1 glass of a wine in 1 bottle. So don't buy, you need to buy a bottle of a wine. You can buy 2 glasses of wine if you just want to drink today, right? And that's all, right? And this kind of a capsule luxury is something which you'll be looking forward from all the products. Don't think about making a large statue. Think about making smaller ones, and then they can mix and match and create their own creation on the table, right? Think about smaller products, but luxurious products, yes. So hyperlocal is going to be our new norm. Hyperlocal of different domain, how it is basically, if you see Instagram nowadays, we are forced to put pictures of whatever we can cook at home, right? And everybody is looking forward for their local recipe, the recipe they have not touched for so many years. I mean, the recipe they will never put in Instagram. Who will put vada pav in Instagram, right? Who will put a chart in Instagram? I mean, we'll put a pizza in Instagram, at least, if not sushi. And then this is what is happening across the world, across domain. And we already know that Ramayana started retelecasting. We already know that. And very interesting data, it says after 2015, Ramayana is the most popular TV soap. Imagine a TV soap made in 1987 being the popular TV soap in 2020, right? And we are looking back towards whatever we had at that time. I'm not talking about the quality of Ramayana, I'm talking about what is happening across. So this other picture, what you see is a newborn in Bangkok. So Bangkok came out with their own local solutions to protect their newborns. The moment the child is born, they are giving a helmet to protect it, right? So everybody is going to find out their local solutions for the products. We will be having our interior design products as interior decors, but everybody look forward for our local products with a mix which will not look very local. Like for example, the colors for those cushions looks absolutely Western, but the cushion looks Indian. And the mirror frame at back of that picture, you can see very interesting. It's very local handicraft, but the color is not local. Very interestingly presented. So we come to a particular sub-theme called blend entity, where we are looking forward for blending local with the international trends at large. Don't give them as it is. So blend it with international, maybe the international colors with your technology or technique, or the international technique with your color. Blending is very important as such. The local crafts will be very important at large. Like for example, what's happening in Sikkim, they have come out with this interesting bottle made out of bamboo. We already know that this kind of bottles they started making, but this is going to be popular very soon at large. This is from Sikkim, very interesting water bottle as such. Products made in bamboo at large. We'll be talking about jewelries made in local product, but don't think about making it more affordable. Make it luxurious. Add gold in bamboo. Add ceramics in bamboo. Add precious, semi-precious stones in bamboo, and that's where everybody look forward. So we'll have two segments at large. Think about luxuriness in local products. Can we do that? This is very interesting. It is done by Godrej. It was done in Godrej and Bios in 2017, but now everybody's talking about it. It's a very interesting bicycle called Bambusa, where they mixed bamboo with the technology from Bios to create this cycle. It's a bamboo cycle. The technology is going to move local. The local materials are going to come at large as such, and everybody will appreciate that. A new material, it's not new, everybody's doing it for long, but now it's going to talk, everybody's talking about it. It's called black clay. We already know black clays. We have had black clays in our Northeast scenarios. Black clays are something which is going to be very local and very interesting. We'll be talking about products made in black clay, and then it will be appreciated as such. It's not a dye, it's a clay which is black. And that's where everybody look for. They will be going for a dye-less world, where we'll not have the dyes. It will be having jewelries made in black clay and white clay at large. We'll be having home decors, we'll be having bowls made in black clay. And then this is our own black clay. I don't know how many of you know that. This is a very interesting black clay from Nizamabad, UP. It's a black pottery, where the pottery also has a white line in between created. It's almost like etching. And this is from Nizamabad, UP. So interesting crafts will be discovered and rediscovered. There's another craft which has come. How many of you use ether? And there's a new ether which has come last season. It's an ether which smells like rain, fresh rain. It's an ether which smells like fresh rain, which has gone back to the era where we stopped producing it. So last season, we started creating it back again. So we'll go back to our traditional craft. But interestingly, keep in mind, whenever you are doing it, tell the story about the craft, because that's important other than just the craft. So edible fusion is going to happen, where edible materials like the coffee dust, tea waste, all these things will be converted into a very interesting material. And then they are blending concrete with coffee dust to create products. For example, in India, it happened once. We see concrete mixes. These are food waste mixed with material as such. And then this is our Indian story. It's a brand called Malai. It has happened in Kerala, where this couple has started creating fabrics and materials out of coconut shell and coconut dust. And this kind of innovations is something which is going to come at large at this moment. We'll believe in natural material mix. This theme called soul code, it's a sub theme under the same theme, it's called soul code, where not only the materials which are basically natural friendly we look for, but we will also look forward for the materials which has a social meaning. The major color here will be the color which is called marsh marigold and the color called parrot green. It's a very interesting mix of colors as such. This trend will talk about things which will also having a social responsibility. This handcrafted product, it's a brand called Bambian. They're making bags out of bamboos and the way cane being converted into bags, but they're also telling that the 10% of this goes for the local community. Social responsibility is going to be at large on us because everybody look forward for how you are supporting the society from where we are getting it back. So soul code as a theme talks about this. This particular brand called Fool, it's not a fool, it's Fluelman's flower. We all know that. So the Fool is basically a brand, very interesting brand, where they are making incense sticks out of the temple flowers thrown off. So these temple flowers being thrown off, and these two youngsters are converting them into incense sticks and then all the interesting decors out of it. It's called Fool. So this kind of handicraft where there is a impartition of a social responsibility attached to it is something which we are looking for at this moment. Plastics, upcycled plastics will be something which will everybody look for, where you are actually upcycling reused plastics. For example, this brand called Four Ocean, they collect plastics and then converts into jewelry. Very interesting brand. You can find it in the internet. It converts plastic from the seas, what they are collecting from the seas. So very interesting products, handcrafted products are coming in, and they actually gives these beads. So the individuals can join the beads and create their own product. This particular scenario, it's in Watambu in Kenya. I don't know actually how they pronounce it. It's in Kenya, in the Kenyan coastland. What they are doing is actually they are collecting the shoes and flip-flops from the sea and then converting them into beautiful handcrafted products as this, right? At a time, we were concerned whether people will actually buy these products, but now the demand is increasing at large and they are creating more products. So the shoes being thrown off in the water, the flip-flops, and then they're being converted into beautiful products as this. So we found that there are 6 large stories at one scale. We have Enabler, we have Rejuvenism, we have Empath, Neo Sanctuary, Candy Saga, and Hyperlocal. Please note down, find more around it. These are small contributions from my side towards the examples. You will find better examples in the world around. This is the whole color scale which is going to come for handicraft at large. You can see very interesting color scale because it also has black, because this is the first time we are talking about black as part of the color scale at large. Bright, comfort colors at scenarios. So if you see color tendency post-COVID, I'll show you 3 color tendencies at large. We are having a color tendency of blacks and grays, where the products will be made in a deeper dive of blacks and grays, because black is a color or gray is a color where we try to find out solitude at large. Interesting decors, a mix of black and gold will be something which you can look at large. Black and red, black and gold is something which we all look at, especially for the luxury products. There will be a demand for comfort colors as this, where we are looking for colors which are pasteled, a little bit diluted and powdered, and the colors will be towards the pastel shades on comfort color as part, as this. We'll also look for bright colors as this. We call them the colors of hope, where we look for brighter color products, especially the countries where the COVID has affected at large. We'll be seeing a lot of bright colors splurging out. Everybody look for a brighter time ahead. Yellow and gray will be one color shade which will be coming at large as such. So this is the whole color scale which is going to come immediately after COVID. We see the comfort colors in your left. We see the golden tone coming at the metallic color, and then the color tones which you see on top, brighter color shades. At large, these are the 3 color segments which will be actually dominating the time ahead. So the work what you are seeing is basically a large domain work of research happening across under my guidance at large. The cues being collected, segregated, and continuously it's happening at large. These are the few brands I help them to structure at certain times. You can see that mindset, what I am showing is almost similar to the mindsets we are talking about in Wild Republic Splash Toy or Kia Motors as car at large. If you want to find me out, just type my name in Google. You will get me anywhere, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. These are such, and this is my email ID. You can connect me at any time. Otherwise, EPCH is doing a great job ahead. Thanks for arranging this thing. We can go and open for the panel discussion, sir.